This question is testing some very important ideas that we're going to see in a lot of these story questions. We're going to need to build equations, and they have some keywords here that tell us how those equations should be built. So for the most part, if you see anything that sounds like a one-time fee, that's going to behave like a y-intercept. Basically, especially in this case, since it's going to be a line, we're just going to add that number onto the end. And so they tell us the one-time fee is $10, so we should expect a plus 10. And at that point, I kind of know it's going to be choice C because the weird parentheses and A and B are actually going to make it so that the additional piece at the end is much bigger than 10. In both cases, it would be something plus 110, and that is nowhere reflected in our story. So it's a little bit, of a trap, I guess, because you still might see the 10 there, but it's not going to work like that. But still, just to kind of round it out, we also have this idea of the 11, and this is a little bit less direct, but they're still talking about this in terms of rates, right? $11 per day, that is a rate, and rates when we have a story really translate into slopes when we have an equation. And so that is right here where it should be, and that's why choice C is correct, is it just matches y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Or in the story terms, M is a rate and B is a flat fee, starting value, something like that. So both of those pieces work here. If for any reason you were confused, one other path we could take here is we could arithmetize. For a lot of cases with stories, when they talk hypothetically about things, it might make sense to you more if we just made it less hypothetical and actually came up with numbers. So Sean rents a tent at a cost of $11 per day. Well, let's just say he goes for one day. Right? What would that mean? Okay, well, let's follow the story. Well, that's $11 for the one day, plus the $10 fee that he can't avoid, so that's $21. So that's going to be our value for C. So now what we're looking is, all right, let's just test the equations. Let's put 1 in for D and see which ones give us the $21 that we're looking for. So if we did that in choice A, we would have 11 times 1 plus 10, right? D is 1, so that's 11 times 11. That's, again, very big, 121, so that's wrong. If we did that in B, we would have 10 times 1 plus 11, so that's 10 times 12. That's 120, again, way too big. C would be 11 times 1 plus 10, and that's kind of just the math we did anyway, right? 11 times 1 is 11, plus 10 is 21. We would still need to check choice D just to be safe here, but 10 times 1, it is the same. I don't know why I thought it wasn't going to work. Or it was going to work. So 10 plus 11 is still 21. That's okay. Let's make this a teaching moment. I didn't really think this through. We can also, if we have this problem where multiple answer choices give us the result that we would want, we can just do it again by changing the number that we picked. So D equals 2. What would happen if it were 2 days? Well, it'll be $11 for the first day, another for the second day, and the $10 one-time fee. So now that's $32. And again, we can check the answer choices. We don't need to check A and B because we already know that they're wrong, but 11 times 2 plus 10 is exactly what we did, right? So that's 22 plus 10, that's 32, so that's still good. But now if we try choice D, that's 10 times 2 plus 11, so that's 20 plus 11, that's only 31, and close does not count, so that would be wrong, and again, we would be picking the right answer. That way is definitely more tedious, but if you really struggle with math and you're just trying to get the highest score possible, the arithmetize strategy here lets us save these points. These are definitely gettable because you have been in situations like this one, where there's been some sort of rate or kind of daily expense and some sort of set fee, and like you've experienced this, so hopefully you can kind of work it through. You just need to pick a number of days, and yeah, sometimes you pick a number that works in multiple answers, but it's not the end of the road. You can still pick a new number, test it out, and eventually you should get to the answer.